Hi, Ben.
Hi, Carl.
It has been a long time.
It's been too long.
I think 2 months
Has it? No, hasn't been that long, dude.
since we've recorded, right?
No, really? Well, it feels like less than that, but still too long, you know. But maybe it has been.
I feel like this time of year, things like this simultaneously feel like it's been way longer, and also like it hasn't been even close to that length. Like it feels like I talked to you last week, but it also feels like I haven't talked to you in 6 months.
I think a lot has happened for both of us since we last talked.
That is, yeah.
Should we like explain why we like went on like a hiatus without any warning?
Yeah. Let's do that.
We were about to have a guest on, and then Carl was sick, and then we canceled last minute, and then life should hit the fan for both of us, and then we're only catching up now. That's basically like the TLDR.
Yeah.
We were like down to the wire with our episodes. We had an awesome guest lined up, and then life got in the way.
Yeah. That is a very TLDR version of it. I mean, I think that's. I don't know if it's the same in Israel as it is here, but I'm sure like when you lived in New York, it was similar. Where it's like this time of year, like especially if you have kids, like everybody gets sick, and it's just like a constant ping pong back and forth with viruses and things. Like the baby has pneumonia right now.
Oh no!
So just like she's a trooper. She's doing pretty good with it, but like
oh, that sucks. Our daughter had RSV this winter. It was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
It's awful. And at least here, we've had this cold streak where, I mean, I don't think it's been above freezing for more than a day in like a week or two. I might be wrong with that. It just feels like forever, but it's been like, pretty routinely.
We're living such different lives. I haven't gotten below freezing once.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. I think like when I woke up this morning, the real feel was like 21 Fahrenheit, something like that.
Wow.
Which is, I don't know, too cold. Just it's way too cold.
But I'm nostalgic for it. So
yeah, because you're a weirdo.
Because I'm a weirdo. Yeah.
But it was just I got like a really nasty stomach bug and like a high fever that I was doing a pretty good job of kind of keeping it off. I feel like, I don't know if you guys are the same way, or if any of the listeners that have partners and kids. I feel like generally speaking, when the kids get sick, either my wife or I will get sick too. And then the other one is somehow able to just like be healthy enough to take care of them. And then as soon as everybody else gets healthy, their body just completely falls apart for like a week. And usually that's how we are. Usually one of us is able to kind of like keep our shit together for enough time to survive. And this time that didn't happen, and we were both sick. And
oh my gosh.
Then there's another time we were both sick, where the baby was sick, my wife was sick, I was sick, and our 8-year-old felt like $1,000,000 and was just running in circles, figuratively and literally. But it was just like virus after virus, and then like the holidays, and also we sold our house and moved, and bought a new house.
That's like the the big deal, but
that's like the big thing, obviously. But it was just like kind of all of that stuff all happening, just all together. And I feel like when I had the few moments I had 2 minutes to myself, it was, you were asleep at like 3 a.m. your time. So it just wasn't really conducive for us to get caught up. And I know we both had just all the things happening, but we're back.
We're back.
I don't want to make any promises, but I'm fairly confident that we're going to be back into a regular.
I hope so.
Regular thing. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the bug thing, like I've had kids home literally on and off every other day. And like my wife had the bug, and then I got it just now. So I'm with you, man. We're totally, but we didn't buy a house.
Yeah.
But I'm working on a project that's been like super overwhelming and all encompassing. It's like because I'm working on this like a mindfulness app that's about to launch. So,
which you've been working on for a while now.
Yeah, and now it's like I'm like what's pre-beta alpha? Like I'm like alpha testing it now, and we're trying to figure out like song crossfades and all these kinds of all these kinds of things. So like I've got like a really early version of an app, which is neat. So we're like getting to the finish line. So that's also been part of my like overwhelm. If that makes sense. Yeah.
No,
so it's just like on top of all the other stuff, like there's like a time crunch for all these things, and like processing hundreds of audio tracks for meditation. So yeah, that's like in addition to and then we had Hanukkah, which is usually not a big deal holiday. It's like a pretty chill holiday for Jews, but it was just like so overwhelming this year, and kids were home and sick, and it was just like, it was like everyone I spoke to had a hard Hanukkah this year.
Yeah. I do want to point out the lovely irony that there's so much stress happening in your life because of a mindfulness app. I just want to take a moment and appreciate that, because that's beautiful.
The problem is I'm working on the audio and I'm not actually doing the meditations, so I need to start doing the meditations.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you gotta get high on your own supply.
Well, now that I got the app, let's go. Okay.
Yeah. So
all that to say, that's the shitstorm, and welcome back to Secret Sonics.
Welcome back, motherfuckers. No, I'm kidding. Don't have to keep that. Or
please keep it, Gavi. Don't cut that.
Yeah, or at least maybe bleep it. I don't know. But an idea that Ben had for today's episode, since this will be the first release of 2025, was to recap our goals from last year and see if we stuck with them, how they went. I remember mine. Do you remember yours?
Most of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to start with your goals?
Yeah. So I set a goal that I was going to reach out to 1,000 new people in 2024 and like start conversations with new, either peers or potential clients, students, whatever that may be. And I chose that as a goal because I know that I can't control how many people respond to messages. I can't control how many of those people that respond end up actually being a good fit. I can't control how many of those people that respond and are a good fit actually, decide that they want to work with me. So I know that I can control what I put into it. So I decided that 1,000 just seemed like a good number. It seemed kind of
round and whole and big.
Round and whole, and like, I set that as the goal, and then breaking it down, knowing that really to get to 1,000 in a year, that's less than 3 a day. So it was definitely something that was doable, and also I think more importantly, built the habit. That was really the big thing that was going to force me to just build the habit of doing the outreach, which I was already doing a lot of before that. But this just kind of kept it really, top of mind for me. And I was keeping track in the beginning of the year. And then I pretty quickly realized that I was like significantly ahead of schedule and stopped counting around like 300 or 400, because I hit 300 or 400 by, maybe March.
Wow.
So I knew that was not going to be an issue. And then like by the end of the year, I started getting even higher. So if I would have
exceeded your goals.
Oh yeah. I exceeded it. And I'm glad that I did, because I met a lot of really great people, got a lot of really interesting projects out of it, a bunch of new students out of it. It was just, and also it forced me to, make little tweaks every time that I do it. So I've gotten a lot more confident with the way that I craft messages. I've gotten more confident with figuring out what kind of tone is appropriate for the level of relationship that I have or don't have with the person, So it was a very big learning experience, and also enabled me to just trial and error a whole bunch of stuff, because
why not?
There was a numbers game. There's so many opportunities. I figured, why not try some stuff and do it. So it ended up helping me to change a lot of the approaches that I had, and little tweaks, nothing super humongous, but it helped me to refine my process, which was really helpful, especially because that's something I help other producers and engineers with. So I got to just get a whole bunch of practice and experience and learn some new things and help people try it out too.
Sick. So I guess what would be like the number one, takeaway from all this? Just like numbers?
I mean, honestly, the big takeaway was that when we set a goal that seems really big, when you break it down and you actually start working toward it, like with a genuine determination, that number usually ends up seeming a lot smaller than it did when you started. Like now 1,000 feels like nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
amazing.
That's probably the biggest takeaway is that, a goal can seem insane until you actually, figure out the strategy for it and get started. And then you realize, oh no, I could have gone more. And then hopefully you realize that. And as soon as you realize that, you start doing more. And maybe I don't want to, I know moving the goalposts has a bit of a like negative connotation, and that's not what I'm intending. I'm just saying like, maybe we're changing the goal a little bit, because now the goal is not 1,000. Now the goal is, 1,200, 1,500, whatever that is. Or maybe it becomes like 5 a day instead of 3 a day.
Wow.
Maybe it becomes an hour instead of a half hour a day, whatever that ends up being for you.
Wow. Well, guys, you heard it here. Guys and gals, Carl Bonner exceeded his goals.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you're diligent and you work hard.
Yes. Now, speaking of being diligent and working hard, Ben.
Yes.
Tell us about your goals.
I'm trying to remember all of them. I definitely remember there was a becoming financially literate goal. And I definitely feel like I'm a lot more financially literate, although not as much as maybe I thought I would be by the end of this year. But I'm still actually working towards it. I read books. And I'm actually helping somebody with who's making a course on finances, and gonna bartering some audio services for some free courses on finances and stuff. So that's definitely something that is continued work in progress. I wouldn't say I exceeded in my goals, but I'm definitely on the path, which is good, because I wasn't enough on this path before last year. And it's continuing into 2025, hopefully. So, yeah, that's been really cool. I had a goal that I didn't reach, which was to start making my own music again. I think I wrote like maybe 3 songs or 4 songs or half songs, which is not enough. But I actually think this year is going to be the year it happens. So, watch out.
Can I jump into...
Last year I was like, I want to, but I don't think it's going to happen. And this year I feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's sort of where I'm at with it.
Can I jump into what's the good tough love Daddy Carl mode?
Give me the Daddy Carl.
Please call this episode "Give Me the Daddy Carl." Okay, I think there's 2 things I'm noticing. I just want to talk about like the making music goal. Number 1, you said you wanted to start making music for yourself. And you did, right? Like you did make 3, like, half songs. Like you did start doing that.
A little bit.
But then you're also now saying that you didn't do enough, right? So I'm not saying that you did enough. I'm not saying that you should do more, you should do less. But what I'm saying is I think that goal was not specific enough to be able to take action on.
Yeah, and I think I knew that also last year,
Yeah. I just want to bring that up so that way, when you're setting your goal for this year, like what does making music for yourself
entail?
Like? What is that?
Give me some input goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do, to think about. I'm also like, I don't know, we'll get into next year in a little bit, but yeah, like I need a little bit more space before these things can happen, because I'm a little bit maxed out at the moment, to be honest. But hopefully the space will come in a month or 2.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. I think I was like going to try to like cut out music production and do more mixing. I think that was maybe one of my goals. And that goal didn't really happen because I didn't do enough of either in 2024 because just the economy here is so weird because of situations that are beyond me. But yeah, I didn't do enough music I mean, I did a little bit of producing, a little bit of mixing, but not enough of either, to be honest. So this year was a bit of a blip in terms of my music career, in terms of how much output I actually did. And a lot of that has to do with, diversifying my business into this music post-production stuff, and most of it has to do with the war and just being in the Middle East in 2024,
and also having another child.
Oh yeah, and also having another child. Yeah, that was a really big. Yeah, dude, having 3 kids is so psycho. That's another reason why I have so little space. But yeah, it's sort of already a given at this point for me. But yes, that is 100%. That is 100% a big deal. And life is dynamic. I really feel like people have seasons for different things, and I'm in an interesting season right now, which is very, very interesting, and is in a way sort of scary because things are so different than they used to be. But but also there are things that are better than ever, and there are things now that are worse than ever, and I kind of have to figure out how to make the things that have gotten worse better again.
Well, no, that's huge, and I'm really happy to hear that you have that kind of attitude too, because I think it's very easy for us to set goals and then get, to feel guilty or ashamed if we don't reach them. But a lot of, most of the time it's going to be something that is out of our control. Like, you are not personally responsible for for all of the, the war and everything going on. I mean, I think you are personally responsible for the baby.
Yes.
As far as I know.
Let's hope.
Let's hope.
She looks like her siblings, so.
Okay, good. Okay, so you are responsible for that. That is your fault. But that's really good that you did what you could, and you're making the most of it, and also you're still taking a positive look towards this.
I'm attempting to, especially on the air.
No, you are. I know you. I talk to you enough. You are.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. What about you? Was there anything else there? I think there was. If there was and you don't remember it, that's also okay.
I don't remember. I know, because I feel like that was...
The listeners are going to write us in. You're going to write into us, and they're going to be like, how do you not even remember what goals you set, bro?
I for some reason, I'm going to get harassed if I'm wrong with this, but I feel like that was... I think because mine was it felt like such a big goal. I was just like, that's going to be it.
All right. Well, you reached it and you exceeded. Yeah. Maybe the key takeaway for some of the, one of the key takeaways, at least for the listeners, is do one goal, do it all the way. So Carl, 2025, what's next?
Well, I've been back and forth on this. Honestly, I want to say a really big goal, a really big, ridiculous goal that I don't think is going to happen, but I want to push myself. I would love to get 500 active members in Studio Land.
Wow.
And that is a lot, because I think we have currently 40. So got some room to grow. But I think one of the things that I've been working on for the past 6 months, really, it's the whole thing's been 3 or 4 years in development, but right now, what I've been really focusing on the past couple of months is really making the experience for each student a lot better. I think that's really where a lot of the focus has been put in the past couple of months, because I've just been really focusing on the user experience, really making sure that everything flows in a way that it's all of the resources in the classes, things are presented in a way that is actually helpful, not just a big smattering of courses and guides and videos and things, a whole just big, mess. And I know there are still a lot of things that I'm working on to make it a better experience. But what I've found is that the people that do end up coming in and trying it out, they see that the communities are great. The discussions in the live sessions are really great. And, we're launching the new AI innovation lab. Starts tomorrow. Well, I mean, tomorrow relative to us recording this.
Not to when this is released.
Yeah, the first one's going to be the January 9th.
Nice.
So we're going to be kind of like developing our own like knowledge base and prompt library, but all stuff that is specifically for helping us as producers and engineers to better authentically communicate ourselves to people through social media and DMs and all those things. So it's a way to try to not remove the human aspects of things, but to make all of the non-human aspects easier for making content and for doing outreach and all those things, so we can be ourselves. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to just keep on pushing. But I think if I have to go back and do an input goal rather than an output goal, which I know I'm kind of like harassing myself now.
Right, because 500 is an output goal.
It's an output goal. What we've been trying to do, I've been trying to do like a lot more outreach. I've failed so far. I mean, granted, today is January 8th, so it's still
You're not up to 3 a day.
Oh, I mean, I wanted to do 40 a day.
That's insane, dude.
Which I didn't do. I did it twice. 2 days right at that. So if I figure that's like 10 a day so far.
That's very good.
Not bad. Yeah. So that's kind of my goal, and I want to start ramping it up. And the other thing that I'm determined to do, this is not this is like an output goal, so I got to figure out the input goal for it, is I want to figure out how I can actually make ads for myself as a mix engineer that aren't gross and stupid, and also don't just attract a bunch of beginners. Or, I don't want to attract people that are looking for, production advice and, all of the kind of the things most people do where they make like lead magnets about, EQ cheat sheets or, templates and whatever. And then it's like, there's a huge disconnect between what you want them to do, which is to hire you as a mix engineer, versus what they, signed up for, which is to learn how to make their snares suck less or whatever it is, So one of the things that I'm doing with my business partner, Julian, and some of the students in Studio Land is trying to figure out how we can rethink the purpose of ads and what we can do to use them to weed out people more so than to attract people. Sounds kind of crazy, I know, but
all right, I'm just like totally in the dark here, but
yeah, good. I mostly am too, but this is there's a lot of ideas brewing in the background. So I think what I would like to do is to continuously experiment throughout this year to try to find ways that I can get the attention of and build the trust with better artist clients as a mix engineer through ads. As opposed to just getting a whole bunch of beginners and newbies that don't know what they're doing and have really crappy budgets and the songs suck. Like I want to try to figure out a way to use ads to filter them out.
It's a real conundrum, the whole ad thing, because like professional musicians see ad and they're like, ugh, right? And like, yeah. And if you're just doing like cheat sheet for EQ, you're just getting people who are learning and like they also don't want to hire you because they want to learn and do it themselves also. So yeah.
It's such an
interesting... It's hard to move past like referencing and like, just having that like amazing, like the online presence, right? That you do so well is a big thing, right? But like to do an actual advertisement, very difficult.
But and I think the goal that I'm taking, this is like kind of my hypothesis, is trying to use the ads not to sell anything, not to get them to hire me, but just trying to get them to check out other stuff that I'm doing and to like listen and to, hopefully find some sort of value in what I'm posting online, rather than like, hey,
it's like making content to bring in to that artists are just interested in you and has nothing to do with them. It's almost like planting a seed for artists.
Yes, and that's kind of how I want to look at it. Because I feel like most producers and engineers, when they've run ads in the past, the goal was like, oh, I want to get clients, I want to get sales, and that's kind of how you measure the return on your investment. Like how many clients
works
did I
well
get?
when you're selling like, vacuum cleaners or cars, but for services like mixing,
Yeah.
not exactly an easy fit.
Yeah. It's just, I know that I can do a really good job of making people trust me and feel like hiring me is a good idea. So I want to look at ads as not as the thing that makes them trust me, not as the thing that makes them hire me, but just as the thing that gets them
to be aware of you,
to be aware of all the other stuff that I'm doing, which is already doing a really good job of making them trust me. So it's just like getting more people to just come.
It's like widening the funnel.
I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So I don't quite know what the input goal is. And to be honest, like we
make 10 ads.
Yeah. Well, way more than that. But I think that the thing
start
I was
with
going to say,
10 and then make 100.
Yes, exactly. 40 a day. No, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, I think realistically too, as far as like how the past few months have gone, like we sold our house on the 27th of December. And then we just finished all the paperwork for the new house 2 days ago. So like we were lucky, like the house we bought, like they let us move in early. Like we kind of had an agreement with them. So like we didn't have to like live out of suitcases for a week and a half. But
my God,
this is only my first full day back to like a normal day of work since
unreal.
I think before Thanksgiving.
Jeez, so it was December from hell.
Yeah,
December
the week before
from
Thanksgiving. Yeah, so I feel like that's where I'm giving myself some grace when it comes to not doing all the outreach that I wanted to do, not making all the content that I wanted to, because I have to look back and realize like, oh yeah, I've had my hands full.
Yes, we need to give ourselves grace. I think that's also a takeaway of this episode is like doing the best you can, man. Life is a lot sometimes.
You know what? Maybe that should be my big goal for this year.
Doing okay, man.
Just give myself more grace.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how to.
As a person with a bachelor in psychology, let me give you that grace. Let me give you permission to have that grace.
Thanks, Ben. I just want to make sure that I have your permission. Yes, please. I just want to have your permission before I do anything.
Permission granted.
Yes. Sweet.
Amazing.
Well, wait, did you do yours?
No, not my 2025.
Okay. I have like 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll cruise through it.
Okay. So Ben.
Yeah.
What about you?
Okay. So 2025. There's a lot of things that I know are happening. But yeah, so what am I doing this year? So my goal this year is by the end of the year to hire somebody to do my first hire. I have a lot of I work with like 4 freelancers right now who are editing podcasts, meditations, and stuff like that. I'm sort of like, managing them, I guess, in a sense, but they're not actually my employees. And I realized at a point of total overwhelm with everything that I'm doing and trying to do to make a living, and family and everything. So my goal is to delegate more so that I have more time and to free up some things that only I can do, but I want to have somebody else who can do it also. And so that's, I think the only way to do that is to hire someone. And so my goal, and I might not reach this, but my goal is to hire somebody by the end of the year, to just alleviate some of the burden and to hopefully make things even better and enable me to offer more services while spending less time doing all these things. So that's sort of my big goal. Another goal is making music this year. This year I feel like it's going to happen. I hope once I have new space, once the studio moves, which is I'm like the last thing I'm waiting for is insurance, basically.
Yeah.
Once the insurance thing passes, then hopefully I'll move my studio out of the house, and that will give me some space, and that will also give my family some breathing room. So that's like a big thing that's sort of been on hold for longer than it should have been. But I feel like once that happens and this app I'm working on launches, I think I'm going to have a little bit more time to think about that. And the other goal that I have this year is actually my health. I have not been focusing on my health for the last few years, just because parenthood is so crazy. Like, who's got time to think about their health? And I'm starting to feel it. Like, I was doing basketball on Saturday nights until I broke my finger in August, and then I stopped doing basketball, which sucked because it was like kind of my outlet, and was getting exercise or whatever. But now I got to figure out a way to build in exercise like actually during the week, and for that I also need more. I need more room, more breathing room, and so I need to like sort of build it into my week so that it doesn't get lost, and just eating more whole foods and less like crap just to like get through the day. So I basically don't want to feel like I'm just getting through every single day and eating whatever I have to eat to like get through it and survive it.
Yeah.
I need to like be more proactive. So that's sort of like, for the first time in a very long time, I'm thinking about like, it's time. You've been, 3 kids. Now it's time, like 37 and getting younger. Now's the time to get on that horse.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I turned 40 this year, so I feel that too,
bro.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are my goals.
That's awesome. I need to think about that too, because that's kind of been like in the back of my mind, like nagging at me that I should have a health goal. And
it was all of last year for me, and I just ignored it because I just like couldn't deal with one more thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't deal with one more thing. But now this year, I know it needs to happen.
Why don't we be accountability buddies?
I like this
for that.
Okay,
you and me, yeah.
All right,
because I need that too.
But the first thing I've been doing is I walk my daughter to school, to daycare, which is not super close, not super far, but it's like every day at least I'm getting a 15, I don't know, maybe 16-minute walk, pushing a stroller. So at least that I'm getting almost every morning.
I'm glad you clarified, because the difference between a 15-minute walk and a 16-minute walk is enormous.
Enormous, yeah. No, but pushing strollers up hills and stuff, that's also good. It's a very hilly city, Jerusalem, so get a little bit of that in as well. But
okay, no,
it's
that's
not
great.
enough. It's not enough.
Yeah, and as of tomorrow, I'll be able to walk my daughter to school too, because she just moved to elementary schools, and the one that we're at now is actually like walkable. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be accountability buddies for some health stuff for this year, and I'll put some more thought into my actual goal for that and what I want to do. But
all right,
we'll come back to this.
I don't have an actual input goal. I guess my input goal would be to schedule two healthy things a week. Maybe like 2 times going to the gym or running or whatever a week plus.
Yeah.
Should probably be 3, but let's start with 2.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's something that, Mashu Gaza, something like that.
Yeah. So Ben, you're the man. I'm just glad to be back with you.
It's great to see you, Carl.
You too. Great to
see
you.
Your face.
Great to hear you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like, what's gonna happen? It's been so long. It's like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was good to see you. We will be back to a normal rotation ASAP.
I hope so.
Yeah. I'm planning on seeing you next week.
Okay. Put it in my calendar.
Plan on it. You're the man. I appreciate you. Thank you for filling my heart with joy when I see your smiling face.
Likewise, man.
Okay, bye, Ben.
Bye. Have a good night.